Alright, welcome to the Oxen Group Nightly. My name is Dave Ristow. I'm the CEO, President, and founder of the Oxen Group. And what a day we had in the market today. You know, it seemed to be a pretty bad day, but it wasn't too bad. We're going to be talking about that wrap up in a little bit here. We're talking about our position, double down in Lululemon, some exits we took there, entry into Baidu, entry into Noble Energy, some other current positions, and the forecast for tomorrow. So, the market dropped significantly today. Started out the day down 290, ended the day right around down 140. So almost halved the loss throughout the day. And you know what? The market really basically repeated what it did Monday. Opened lower on news outside of the U.S., but we got good indicators inside the country, some decent company-specific news, and a lot of opportunities out there for people to buy. Radiation leakage in Japan, as well as another explosion at the reactor, creating more fears that maybe a meltdown might be on the way. Although reports, the latest reports kind of have died down on that sort of news, and really things seem to be calming down a little bit. In the USA, we got a lot of positive signs today, and in reality, in my opinion, we're going to continue to see good economic data coming out of the U.S. And on any pullbacks, I still think that we have to be a buyer, because what we're seeing is continual improvements over year, from 2010, and we're going to see that throughout the rest of the year, because the economy is still going to continue to grow at a pretty significant rate year over year, coming from what we did in 2010, and those were over 2009. And for example, we got the Empire Manufacturing Index. It improved in March from 15.43 to 17.5, beating estimates of 17.0. We also got actually some decent news out of the Housing Market Index. We'll talk about that a little bit more in a second here, but the index moved from 16 to 17. And we also got the Fed news. They kept the rate the same. The borrowing rate is still at 0 to 0.25, but they said some interesting news. They said the economy is on a firm footing, and for the first time, the Fed actually said something along the lines of that within our own country, we are seeing job growth really actually happening, and it's actually looking positive. And that's a really bullish sign, I think, for the economy. They said that they're still going to be doing QE2. There's no signs of any slowdown there, and I think that may have something to do with some of the recent developments between the Middle East and Japan. Sort of plaguing some of some companies that have a global sort of impact on those problems in those two geographical areas. But overall, the report was very bullish. Some people took a little bit away that they said some things about maybe some near-term inflation. I'm not going to really see that as a severe issue for what we do at the Oxen Group. Trading, you can trade with inflationary markets. I mean, you just trade based on what is going to be doing okay, given if we do have inflation. So here's a chart. This is the NHAB Wells Fargo Housing Market Index. And you see these are new single-family starts, the black line, and this kind of purplish line is the Housing Market Index. And you can see the market index rose to 17, which is its best number since May of 2010, which was a bullish sign. And we also had single-family homes that you can see did drop, and it does seem to be creating probably a double bottom. But the thing that they're seeing is that they are seeing some building permits increasing. They're seeing some more pending home sales, some more existing home sales, and overall the housing market, and while it's definitely at no rate a good market to be in right now, it is showing some signs of strength, and we should be looking at some recovery happening there as the job market continues to develop. So the market opened low, but actually moved higher. As we see here, it was a pretty just great day as far as a trader. If you entered things at the beginning of the day, from the beginning to the end, you would have seen a very nice gain in a slew of sectors. We dropped, you can see here right at the open, down to this was about down 290, but from that drop we had a really nice gain. And I think right here was the breaking point. If this could have been a flash crash, some people were speculating that maybe that would happen. I wasn't at all, because I don't think the fundamentals in the USA have changed it drastically. I think we're very, very solid still economically, and I just really didn't understand that theory, so we were buying right off the open. And one of the things that we wanted to do is we recommended a double down this morning on Lulu. This is the athletic wear company. They make women's athletic wear as well as men's athletic wear, but more geared towards a sophisticated sort of middle to upper class woman. And we averaged in now at 75.95. And we took two exits throughout the day. We took one at a 2% gain right off the bat within the first hour, and then we took another one at a 4% gain closer to the close. But we're holding, so we had a double position in that, and so we're holding about a quarter of that double position, so half of a full position for tomorrow. The stock rallied throughout the day, looks very strong, and the real key to this trade is that this stock got an upgrade from not only Jefferies this morning, but also Goldman Sachs. And the stock barely, I mean, it moved up throughout the day. It was able to move from 4% from the close to from the open to the close. But in reality, when you get double upgrades in one day, right before earnings come out, and they're expected to be very bullish, as we talked about yesterday, I was expecting a lot more. And because we're expecting a lot more, we held that half of that full position into tomorrow. And as you can see, you know, was able to basically almost hit the highs of yesterday after it got an upgrade on Monday. So 3 upgrades in 2 days. With really bullish earnings coming out tomorrow, we're expecting a really nice move tomorrow. We could possibly see something around 80 to 82. We're expecting. So we're definitely looking to buy. We're definitely looking for that to continue higher, and that was definitely a solid buy for us. Baidu, we got into this today. This morning was down, and at 121.44 we were able to pick up a position. And we were able to exit that for a 1% gain intraday, a little third position. We wanted to lock in some gains. I think it's important always to hedge your risk a little bit, lock in some profits. Don't be greedy. At the same time, it's important to hold on to positions that you think that could fundamentally move higher, because you, as a trader, you want to lock in those gains because losses come a lot faster and a lot quicker than gains come. So you got to be patient with the stocks that you're trading. And with Baidu, you see this right here. I don't like seeing that when I see the fast stochastics trending down. At the same time, I think that Baidu is, you see this right here, narrowing Bollinger Bands. This stock is getting ready for a breakout. We're going to be holding on to this until we see that breakout come in. We expect that breakout to be to the upside. You saw this happen here earlier where it dropped here, Bollinger Bands come together, broke out. That was earnings. We don't have that kind of potential anymore. But with this narrowing of, this moving right along this moving average, as soon as we get any kind of news that's bullish, we get a really good day out of China, we get some kind of something good. I mean, this is a very great fundamental company, so the chances that we're going to see something more negative for them is highly unlikely. They're not connected to the Japanese market at all, so we're expecting very good things moving forward out of Baidu. We also got into Noble Drilling Corp today. We were able to pick this one up at 43.90. We recommended entry there, and the thing about this was they got an upgrade today from UBS and did not move at all. And the reason we like this is not technically at all. Is that this is in a very nice upward trend, this stock right now, and it got an upgrade from UBS today, and the stock didn't really price in that upgrade given the weakness in the oil market, given the weakness in the market. But as soon as we get a green day, and we're expecting that to come tomorrow, we think that this stock could really move up. So what we did was we entered a position today. We took a little bit off today to lock in some gains to hedge our risk just in case we're wrong about tomorrow. But if we are right about tomorrow, then we could take those gains on top. And if we are wrong about tomorrow, maybe this will drop a little bit more. Highly unlikely that it will drop significantly given the upgrade and given the sort of strength that we see. It's right on that moving average. So it's highly unlikely that it will break that moving average. So we may have to take a little bit of a loss, but it will average out from probably a slight gain. So it's really kind of all upside, very little downside risk. And that's the kind of trades that we like to do. Other current positions, I didn't actually put this on here, but we did get a quick 3% gain on Ryland Homes today. Entered right at the bat. The stock got an upgrade today from Ticonderoga Securities and was down about 4% at the open. Seemed like a really nice buy given the housing market index number, given the fact that the stock was very undervalued, and we were able to pick that up and get a quick 3% gain on that. We did have a tough morning to start out with, and we'll cover that real fast. We had a stop loss in Apple, Bank of America, and Roof's Hospitality off the bat. And that's part of the game we play with trading. I would rather take that 2 or 3% stop, even if I'm pretty confident that the stock's going to go back up from that, because I think that if that stock dropped that much, then there is probably a better opportunity out there, um, other than that stock rising off that stop loss. So, for example, like Bank of America, okay, we got stopped out, but the stock only improved 1% today. And we took that money that we lost on Bank of America and we pumped it into Baidu, which has a much better opportunity of rising than Bank of America does, given that Bank of America is very much market driven right now. And we didn't get the movement that we expected on it. We were expecting it to fill that gap that it lost from the announcement of the dividend, but now that the market's so poor, that sort of news has been flushed out. And maybe the stock will come back at some point, and we expect it would, and we would be looking to re-enter when maybe that financial shows some strength again. But at this point in time, we would rather play something with a lot more strong fundamentals in the short term, like a Chinese play, rather than a U.S. financial where the catalyst isn't really there. We continue to hold Infinera, and actually overall with the gains we made today, we were actually able to neutralize all our stops and actually gain some on top. With the 3% from Ryland, the 1% from Noble, the 1% that we got from Baidu, and then the 2% and the 4% from Lulu, those all added up, those gains, to actually neutralize the 0.5% loss, the 3% loss from Bank of America, and the 3.5% loss from Roos Hospitality. For tomorrow, it really comes down to we just need that Japanese situation to improve. And in all honesty, what we really need is the Japanese situation to not get any worse. No news is actually good news at this point, and good news is great news at this point. So the expectation, it's kind of like what we had when we had the bounce during the Libyan crisis, like a couple weeks ago. You had the Gaddafi thing, and it hit the market, and the market took those 2 days down. But then there was a day where basically there was really no new development. Fighting was continuing. Okay, we've got this crisis, but it's nothing new. The market had priced in the crisis, and now let's bounce up. And I think with that rally we saw into the close, we're right up on that 11,800 support level, and I think we're going to have a nice bounce tomorrow, as long as we don't get any further news that would drastically change that situation in Japan. No major earnings tomorrow, so that's not going to have any impact. We do have a couple economic pieces on the docket. We got the housing starts, the building permits, and crude inventories, and all three of those will have a definite impact in tomorrow. If those housing starts kind of mirror what we're seeing on the NHAB, which would be a sort of precursor or to sort of highlight what they think could happen in the housing starts, is it could be very good for housing starts and building permits for tomorrow, which would lead for more gains in the housing market, which has been pretty heavily oversold as of late, and that may be a place for us to look to invest tomorrow. Well, that's going to do it for today for us on the Oxen Group Nightly. Check us out at the www.theoxengroup.com. We got free trials there. Sign up for our mailing list. Sign up for a membership. Get to know us, see what we're all about. Email us at contact@theoxengroup.com. Call us at 1-800-709-1160. Please be a part of our 70% plus accuracy today.